That $100?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yes.
Doesn't it crash all the time?
No.
Yav Malinia.
Addiction?
I'm wearing really, really thick socks.
WeChat is like the sacred app.
The Eric Cartman sits in his chair and gets really fat and his mum brings him a potty.
Yeah.
Like I'm not that addicted to social media, huh?
I like to use Dvargist.
I
They do
accept
it.
WeChat.
Yeah.
Imagine not
Banking
having banking apps.
It's a void.
Exactly.
A
Exactly.
socks you in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pretty cool meeting fellow kind of drunk people in the in the Uber pool.
We could
Not
make
very
a drinking
good.
game out of this podcast. Drink every time Benjamin says my iPhone 5.
We're going to talk about apps. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Big Apple School Podcast, where the goal of this show is to help you improve your listening skills by listening to us. My name is Benjamin, and today I'm joined by three ladies. I have to my right,
Natalie.
welcome back, Natalie. And of course, we have,
Katya.
welcome back, Katya. And last but not least,
Olga.
welcome back. So, guys, I have some sad news. Unfortunately, this is going to be my last podcast episode. I'm going to be leaving the Big Apple School, but I've had a great time working here, and I'm really sad that I have to leave all these cool people. I'm moving on to the next chapter. I'm not going to say where I'm going because I don't want to jinx the experience, but wish me luck.
Good luck, Benjamin.
Sure.
Thank you very much. I think MI6
New
wants
chapter.
me somewhere else. So,
New chapter.
yes.
That's exciting.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's been a real pleasure working with everyone here. And
How
More
long
than
have you
2
been here?
years. More than 2 years.
yeah,
I think.
over 2 years. So,
Over 2 years.
yeah,
Ooh.
time goes
Lot.
quickly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really does.
Yes.
Really does.
Well, in this industry, quite often you have backpackers who go to Vietnam, they stay for a few months and then they change schools or something. But yeah, I've really enjoyed working. I've learnt a lot. I've met a lot of cool people and yeah, love the
Yay.
team here. So sorry, but I'm sure we'll find another good podcast host for the next episode.
Aggressively blinking.
Yes. So that's the big news. Any other news from you?
Not really. You know, waiting for the springtime.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
God.
Just
Right.
enjoying
So-
the longer daylight.
Mhm.
You know, just same old, same old.
Well, I just learned a new idiom in Russian thanks to Olga. So, yav malinia. So it directly translates, I am in the raspberry, correct?
But there is no English.
The-
Yeah.
equivalent.
Exactly. There's no
Yeah.
English equivalent. So I guess it means, well, how would you describe this idiom?
To be
Like-
surrounded by girls.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Usually girls.
Usually,
But as
yeah.
you said, it can be
I guess
Like,
so, but I'm not
the
quite
boys
sure
too.
about this one.
no idea.
I can't think of an English equivalent off the top of my head, which is another idiom off the top
Oh,
of my
look
head.
at you. It's like, you know,
Yay.
farewell gift. Just, you know, throwing idioms all over.
Yes, I am in the raspberry, let's say.
Aw.
Yes. Well, so really cold, isn't it? So minus 27 outside.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It feels different than it did in December, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not windy.
Sunny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, walking into the studio, my toes are still a little bit frozen from
Mhm.
outside.
And the nose.
And your nose,
I
yeah?
don't know. I feel great. Just again,
Aw.
it's not windy. So that's the whole point. But when it's windy and, you know, it can be minus 10, but when it's windy,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
awful.
definitely.
But now, like,
It's
you
kind
know,
of beautiful outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
The sun is shining.
yeah, yeah.
so-
And the froze and
Like a
I
true
love it.
Brit, Benjamin starts every conversation about weather.
Yes,
you know, with
exactly.
weather.
Like small talk.
Yeah.
It's the novelty will never wear off for me.
Mhm.
Fair enough, especially in Siberia.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I'm wearing really, really thick socks, and even
Oh.
still, I can feel the, the coldness in my the freezing, air on my toes. Yes. So, are you wearing what are they called, valinki? Yeah.
Of
No, I
course,
I
every
used
day.
to
Yeah.
when I was
Yeah,
younger.
me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, what made you stop wearing these big boots?
It's not cool, I guess,
They
anymore.
are so cool. I love them. They're awesome.
But you don't really see people wearing them, so you
Maybe
don't want to
old
be
ladies,
like, you know.
like grandmas, you know. Sometimes they do. I
Yeah,
think.
but retro fashion is always cool. So just because
Yeah.
grandmas wear it doesn't mean it's not cool.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
Benjamin, his fashion advice,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen.
Wear valenkies. Yeah.
But still, it's like
It's
the
a trend.
warmest thing I've ever worn, like in my life.
How heavy are
Absolutely.
they?
they're not heavy,
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
You've never tried them on?
Correct
No,
me
I've
if
never
I'm
tried
wrong.
them.
You should.
They look really heavy. They look like
No,
you're wearing.
absolutely not.
They're not like really comfortable. They have like this shape and like
yeah.
there is an edge at the bottom, and you have to like kind of step on it.
Don't want to be a killjoy over here, but correct me if I'm wrong, but that ain't our topic today, huh?
It's not our topic today. It's not. We're going to be speaking
Just
about
Benjamin is using every opportunity to talk about all things he likes.
weather, planes.
Yeah.
So wait for
We
it.
haven't talked about planes yet, but
Yeah,
don't worry,
yeah.
we will get on to it. Well, before we mention the topic that we're going to discuss today, I just want to say we have some news. We had a wonderful speaking club this week with
Oh,
Katya,
yeah, we
an online
did.
speaking club. How did that go, Katya?
Oh, that went wonderful. At first, I was a little bit, kind of afraid that it wouldn't, create as much joy and conversation and discussion because the topic was stress and sleep. But it was
Oh,
such a heated
That's an amazing
debate
topic,
in a way
actually.
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was really great. I'm really grateful to everyone who joined and who was actively participating.
So for those of you who want to find more information about the speaking club, we can find information on Telegram, and we're trying to have these speaking clubs as frequently as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely stay tuned to our Telegram channel so you can stay in the loop, which is a great idiom. Another idiom
Some
for you,
more
to stay in the loop,
gifts.
which means to stay
Yeah.
updated.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So definitely join our speaking club, online speaking club. And also, we also have an after show to this podcast, and you definitely should think about joining this. How can we find this? We go to the Big Apple chat bot on Telegram. Type that in on Telegram, Big Apple chat
I
bot.
think you're confusing people, Benjamin, because we have to point out that it's not limited to after show of the podcast. Apart from that, we do have vocabulary lists, in general conversations. So if at any moment you feel like you want to speak some English, either in writing or in speaking, practice your listening and so on, we're always there to chat about absolutely anything you want. So yeah, it's a great chance to be closer to the community, to practice English, learn something new, exchange memes, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely join this community. It would be great practice for you. And of course, you can see the video version of this podcast,
Yeah.
and you can see us. Hello,
Hello,
guys. For
guys.
those of you who are seeing us on YouTube, hello. You can see that a lovely flamingo in front of us, and we change the light every time. So check it out.
Something to, kind of look forward to what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But like Katya said, I'd say one of the best parts is the vocabulary list, because then you can stay up to date with all the coolest, latest English words,
Mm-hmm.
and you can boost your idiom knowledge of idioms and vocabulary in general.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Well, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about apps. Apps
They're
in
looking
general.
at everyone like, who's gonna do it? Who's gonna say it?
Yes. So apps in general. Well, we all have smartphones. We're not grandmas who wear Valenki, but well, maybe I might be a grandma who wears Valenki, but
And your iPhone, 5?
I have an iPhone 5. And speaking of apps, my iPhone 5 is starting to not accept a lot of apps.
Obviously. Yeah.
So I use this flashcard app to stay up to date with Russian
Oh, wow.
words. But unfortunately, the developers updated it, and
So you can't use it anymore.
my iPhone 5 is too ancient for this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So yeah. Well,
How long have you been using it? Like
this
10 years?
This actually no. This iPhone's actually really new. Believe it or not, it's only 3 years old.
Oh.
And my mother basically gave it to me because she just had this. Actually, she didn't give it to me. She exchanged her phone at the Apple store. Something I can't remember exactly what
yeah.
happened, but
So you've been using it for 3 years, but what about your mom?
well,
That's a different question.
Story.
well, I don't know what phone she has right now. I haven't stayed up to date with her phones. Unfortunately, I haven't seen her for like over 2 years now,
Long time
which is
now,
a long
yeah.
time. Obviously, we speak a lot. Hello, Mum. You're probably listening to this.
Aww.
But I haven't seen her in over 2 years, so I don't know exactly what phone she has. But yeah, she was very generous to help me out with an iPhone 5. But prior to that, I had what was it? HTC. You know HTCs?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
were fun phones.
They were.
Yeah, pretty.
Not anymore. Yeah.
I haven't seen them around actually.
So if we talk about apps then, what is your most used one?
Telegram, I guess.
I
Or
guess,
became
yeah.
Messenger. So one of that.
Became
So
Messenger.
Messenger.
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
I don't really
Oh.
use the official one.
Oh.
Wait, there is a separate messenger? Like an app with a messenger?
Yeah, just messages. That's it. So that
Okay.
I don't
Like
have
Facebook,
newsfeed,
actually, yeah.
communities. Yeah, just
I
chatting.
feel like I'm kind of behind, you know, everything. Like, what?
Yeah,
There is that?
You haven't heard of that?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
So
Me neither.
messenger apps, and
Uh-huh.
of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
everyone knows the names of all the major messenger apps. We
Mhm.
don't need
Yeah,
to say
of
because
course.
everyone knows. But
What about you, Benjamin?
my most frequently used app, I would say it is between. Well, you mean other than messenger apps?
No, in general.
In general, I like to use dva geese, double geese,
Oh,
as you
seriously?
would probably say in English.
Mhm,
I use it
mhm.
just to check out town, just to see
I
what's
don't
around.
like
Mm.
it.
Tell me
It's
why you don't like
uncomfortable.
it.
I like Google Maps. It's much more convenient. Yeah, I know.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
I don't think
Google
so.
I just don't understand how it works. I mean, this device thing.
Google Maps is great for outside of Russia.
in Russia too.
It's not bad.
amazing.
It's not bad.
You cannot even see the entrance there. Like in Tugis, you can actually
Uh-huh.
see where the entrance.
Oh, seriously?
You can
I
see
didn't know that.
everything in there.
Everything,
It's like-
definitely.
but it's
Like
so-
the
I
floors
don't
and
know.
stuff.
User friendly.
No, it's not. Not to me. I'm not the user then.
So I believe
Seriously.
double gears or two gears or well, I guess because it's a Russian app, everyone
Uh-huh.
just says dva gears.
Okay,
to
we
be
have
honest.
Yandex Maps.
Okay.
But it was invented
use that
here in
too.
Novosibirsk,
It
wasn't
was.
it?
It was.
Yeah.
Double
Yeah.
gears. So that's one of
Mhm.
Novosibirsk's pride.
Among other things. Yes. yeah.
Yes. So why is it so popular in Russia?
I think, well, first of all, it appeared long time ago.
Uh-huh.
And I remember that was so helpful when I just moved to Novosibirsk.
Mhm.
Back in the day that we did not have smartphones, I should say, you know, so that was back in 2009.
So it was a computer,
Yeah.
not application,
Yes.
but
It was not an
it's
app.
online.
And there is still a
And I used it
website.
every time I had to go anywhere because I was new in the city. I was like, oh my God, I
course.
have no idea where everything is. So, yeah. And one of the things that I personally like about it is that you can use it offline. You don't need to like go
Mhm,
online
right.
every time. You can just
That's
download
true.
the map and that's it. I know that you have this sort of function in Google Maps these days as well. Like you can kind of
think-
download
yeah,
the
yeah.
map. But
You don't even have to download it. For example, when I was in Turkey and I didn't have internet connection because it was just for a week, and I decided, okay, I'm not buying this because it was like $100. Yeah, yeah.
for a month.
I don't
a
know.
week.
It was at the airport actually, and I was going to buy it, but it was like $100. I was like, no, thank you.
Like I'm not
So-
that addicted to social media, huh?
Exactly. So then I was like, okay, and I was trying to use it without internet connection, and it actually worked really well. So of course it wasn't like, you know, if I wanted to search for something, I couldn't, but I could track myself, you know, on the map, like where I'm going and so on. So it was
Yeah, I
really
noticed.
nice.
Well, coming back to flying, when you're on
Whoa.
a plane, if you
Yeah.
open the maps on your phone, you can actually track yourself, which is really interesting.
Well-
Even if you haven't got a connection, for some reason it works
Well, you should have
on Google Maps. At least.
GPS, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
It's
think
not
it's-
internet technically.
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. Mm-hmm.
So it's really cool.
So
Yeah. Well, I remember back in the day at home. When I say back in the day, I mean when I was like 15, I had Google Earth. Can you remember Google Earth? That
I
computer.
still have it.
You still have it?
Yeah. Like sometimes,
Old
you know, you can,
school.
yeah, you can actually have Mars and Moon there, I guess. So it's so cool just to explore it.
Google Mars.
Oh, cool. So you also like
Google.
exploring maps as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my
My guilty
hobbies. I
pleasure.
actually can look
Why
at a map for
not?
hours.
That's so
Yeah.
interesting.
To travel to places you cannot go at the moment.
Absolutely. So yes,
But
Explore.
Google Earth is so cool. Before
Mhm.
before the advent of smartphones,
Mhm.
I used to spend a lot of time on
Mhm.
Google Earth,
Yeah,
spinning
me
the
too.
globe.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so map apps are really cool. Also, one interesting fact in China, I believe Google Maps is not accurate because
it works, but like not really precisely. So,
yeah, because I think it's to do with the military or something.
yeah,
They
of
don't
course,
want.
of course, definitely. They don't want, you know, access to be provided to everybody. So
Right.
you can use, you know, some of their apps.
Mhm.
They have a lot of like, you know, substitutes for every app. basically for Facebook, for Instagram, for.
They do, and it's amazing
Google.
how many people use these apps, and
I
nobody.
mean, now we do too.
Well, do you
actually.
use what is it called? Yoku? Or-
I don't remember actually. Yeah, but I used to have like I don't know at least 10 applications for China specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, and millions, if not billions, of people use these apps,
Yeah.
and nobody
Yeah.
knows in the West what they are,
exactly.
which is what's so funny about them. So when you were in Asia, which map apps did you use? Just Google?
I think it was Google, but there was another app, but I don't remember the name. So it was something Chinese, basically. When I was in China, in Thailand, in Malaysia, and Indonesia, everything worked,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. So it was okay.
Yeah, it was all in English, I guess.
Yeah, of course.
I had a feeling I didn't use any apps when I was in China, but I've got a feeling that WeChat is like the sacred app.
Everybody has it.
Like you
seriously.
use it for so many
Everybody.
things.
Everybody.
Because I
You
remember
can
when
pay with
Yeah.
it. You can get a taxi with it. Actually, VK are doing the same now.
Mhm.
They're trying to at least. But yeah, maybe not really
Again?
successfully.
Well, yeah, you mentioned taxi apps. So
Mhm.
which is your favorite taxi app in
Yandex
Novosibirsk?
Go, probably.
Yeah.
I can only download Yandex because if I try to do my phone has the setting that like the country is the US
Oh.
because I have my banking app
Mm.
on it that I
Ah.
don't want to lose access to. So that's why every time I try to like download and set up an Uber, it's like, oh, you can't do it in this territory. I'm like, so it's only
Wow.
Yandex Taxi for me. But
Mhm.
in the US, Benjamin, what was your app of choice?
They
Uber,
have
Lyft?
They have Lyft and Uber. Those are the two main ones. I would have to
Mhm.
say Uber. I'd never actually tried Lyft, even though it's really popular. Do you know much about the differences between the two?
To be honest, I didn't notice much difference. Sometimes it's the price, but all in all, it's the same thing. And very often you would get a car and you would see both sticker of an Uber and a Lyft
Mhm.
on it. So
Mhm.
yeah. What I love though, it's a bit of a difference between the apps in like Uber in the US, Uber in Russia. Actually, we have this feature now in Uber in St. P, is that you can have an Uber pool. Because let's say now in Novosibirsk, you take a taxi, you order a taxi, you're the only passenger in the car.
Oh.
But Uber pool
Ah,
gives
yeah,
you a
yeah.
chance to
I've
kind of
heard about
split
it.
the cost.
Mhm.
I tried that in America, and you.
Tried.
Yeah, well, I used it.
I only used Uber pool because I mean, let's say from Wellesley to Boston, the Uber, it was called an UberX. If you're the only passenger, it was like $40.
Whoa.
But to have an Uber pool, it was like 15, 16. I'm like, police.
Definitely. Yeah.
Uber
yeah,
pool
I
it
didn't
is.
use taxis too often in America
Because you had a car.
I had a car. I would only use it if, I don't know, I was having a few drinks and I didn't want to drive or
mhm.
something. Yeah.
Well, you were a driver, so kind of easy for you.
Yeah. But it was pretty cool meeting fellow kind of drunk people in the in the Uber pool.
Where are you going from?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, I guess the reason why it's not in Novosibirsk is, well, actually, I don't know why. Why isn't it in Novosibirsk?
I have an idea.
Why not? Yeah. Why not?
Because taxi is affordable here.
Yeah.
Like, it really is affordable. So what's the point of splitting the cost if the cost itself is not that high?
Mhm.
It's such a big advantage of living here is you don't have to feel guilty about taking a taxi.
Mhm.
Coming back from the airport to the center of the city
Oh.
is what? It's like 700, 600 rubles.
Like that.
Sometimes like an hour long drive.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like in London, you would pay, well, did you ever get a taxi in London?
Yeah. Not in London, in Scotland. And like 15 minutes drive was like £15, something like that.
So it's not
15
too
Actually,
much.
I mean, it is expensive compared to
But
Russia.
my students
okay.
I
had
get like 10, 15 minutes. So
Yeah.
it was, and during the day. So it wasn't like rush hour or something. So
my students had
Yeah.
to take a taxi from Heathrow to the center. It was like 65.
Whoa.
That's
65.
okay for London as well. So, yeah.
Mhm.
So at least he didn't.
Sounds about right.
At least they didn't get ripped off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of
It
people
is.
paying up above £100 for a taxi from the airports to the center. It's like an hour drive sometimes.
Mhm.
But as I think we've discussed before, you can get the tube from
Of course.
Mm.
That's what I did actually.
from Heathrow
Yeah.
to
Yeah. Yeah.
Even the express would be cheaper than taxi, even though it's
Definitely.
like £24.
yeah.
So
So you got the Piccadilly line from Heathrow to
Yeah, I think so. We were
the
staying
center.
in next to Hyde Park, and we went to subway, and then we took the tube, and we just arrived to the airport.
Well, you said you went to Subway, the restaurant.
Oh,
I get.
the tube.
No,
Okay,
no.
the
Actually,
tube.
I genuinely thought you meant Subway because we have Subway all over London.
Of course.
Yeah. No, it's I think in Glasgow
Mm-hmm.
they call it. I mean, I know we're not talking about apps here, but in Glasgow they call the Subway. They call it the Subway
Maybe.
in Glasgow. I've
Maybe.
heard. Well, definitely in New York for sure.
Yeah.
Well.
That's what we use. Okay, metro. Let's
Yeah,
call it metro.
So yeah, apps. Is there an app that you could not live without?
Hmm.
I wouldn't say like wouldn't live or couldn't live without. Like, I guess you can live without any app. Maybe like
Mm-hmm.
which one is the most useful for you? I would
Yeah.
put it this way. So I guess that's Telegram.
I
Like
think,
that
yeah, because we have work there as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. But others?
Yeah.
And I'm the
Is it-
one who has like, a line appearing above the head, like addicted
Oh,
To what?
really?
to a certain social media
Ah,
that
of
starts with
course.
in and ends with gram. Banned gram.
Extremist
Graham.
organization.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some sort of no gram.
Well,
No gram.
I haven't used this since
Let's call it no gram.
since last year because I don't want any trouble. In,
Seriously.
yeah,
At all.
I just haven't touched it. I don't
Oh,
want
seriously?
Oh my
trouble.
God, I cannot live without it. This
Actually,
is legit one app I cannot imagine my life
that's
without.
what I'm trying to do, actually. I
cut
decided
down
to
on
quit
use
it.
You'll be surprised
Yeah.
how easy it is to quit. Did you?
Absolutely.
not.
Absolutely.
first
You
it's
just
not,
quit it.
but
That's it.
I just
quit.
completely
That's it.
forgot about it.
Kind of, again, if you're not active there, but if you're active there,
Well, if you're active, it's
Yeah, so
different,
it's-
right?
it's kind of, some kind of validation that you get from there all the
I mean,
time.
I cannot imagine living without no gram. Sorry,
And-
I'm going to stick to this name.
I like
Well,
it, kinda.
it all depends on what you do over there and what you use it for. Because
Exactly.
I have a huge part of my life over there.
I have a lot of friends there, but again, I told them, okay, now I use Telegram. Please contact me there or don't at all.
Oh,
So
for me, it's much more than. Well, first of all, you kind of stay on top of things. Stay in touch with people
That's
without
true.
actually staying in touch with people. So at least their life,
what's
what's
happening to them? Yeah.
and it's much easier, to post things and say like, hey, I'm okay, or I'm there, and you don't need to send like 150 messages or something.
Maybe, but like I understood that every time I go there, it's like you can't stop.
It's a void.
Exactly,
It
exactly.
sucks you in.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you can't stop. You either scroll the reels, or you text with somebody, then you wait for them to answer, then you text again, then you wait again, then you go to another chat and you text with other people. And it's like a vicious circle, something like that.
Okay. So yeah, but
And I decide, okay, so
okay. My question is, what initially did you use it for? So I mean, like
communication. I think.
communication,
Yeah.
and posting.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I think so.
I used it more just as a personal photo album.
Yeah, actually, I had an idea. It's basically an autobiography of some kind.
In a way,
You kind of write it.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
post
it's kind of like
something.
your CV. CV,
too, I think.
autobiography.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
actually, potential employers do check social media
course.
sometimes. Because for me, it's much more than that. Okay, I mean, I do post. It's a combination of my diary, communicating with people, but more than 50% of things I cook are the recipes I get from there.
Oh,
So it's the
it makes
recipes for me.
sense.
I cook so many things, from there.
Mm-hmm.
I learned Spanish, so I am.
It is a good language learning tool.
It is.
For sure.
It is. That's
So
what I'm missing actually.
I watch
now.
reels, stories, videos, posts, and everything, in Spanish. And it's much easier to remember when you have it, like as a video, a short video or something.
I do that too, actually. I use it as, a source of some information. I have a lot of psychologists who I follow there, a lot of, neurologists, I don't know, scientists, and they really give you a lot of valuable information.
Exactly. And it's usually given in like short, pieces.
Extracts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Source of inspiration. I follow people who inspire me. Outfit ideas.
But again, you compare too much, For example, okay, you see a lot of, I don't do that, but again, especially for young people, I think is kind of relevant.
Well, that's more about being sensible and knowing, when
Definitely.
to stop and so on.
Exactly.
And among other things,
It's been addictive, I think,
could be, it's community as well. Like I'm in a
Definitely.
community of ESL teachers and I get so many teaching ideas,
Also
some
true.
sort of tips, courses and so on. Like the amount of professionals over there who are sharing their knowledge is amazing. And that's what I love this band's social media
I think
for.
so. Ben Graham.
Well, speaking of inspiration, do you ever use Pinterest?
I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you?
Like references, for paintings.
I love the look like
What is that?
I just download the wallpapers for my phone.
that's also nice.
So that's it.
So wait, what in general are the apps that you use? I mean, not for work.
Yandex for sure, like Yandex Music, Yandex
yeah.
Go. That's it. VK and WhatsApp.
What do you use VK for?
Just for chatting. At
Just
least
for chatting.
That's what I'm trying to use it for. Because
Do you have any like publics that you follow that you check out?
But I use VK messages like the most. But when I need some kind of information, because I do follow some communities on VK. So like, for example, as you say, like some kind of inspiration for lessons. Yeah, I go to the official one. But still, I try not to use it because, as you said, like it's void that just,
Sucks you in,
You said Yandex
Absolutely,
Music.
yeah.
How much does that cost a month?
Oh,
But
it's
200
nothing.
rebels.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
And you can
£2.
listen. What's the library selection like? Is
Oh,
it okay?
Huge. It's
yeah,
pretty good, actually.
Yeah, from classic to whatever.
So it's like
Yeah.
Spotify, basically.
Kind of, I guess.
It's
Yeah.
getting there, actually.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
like exactly.
But still, like you cannot find the newest albums or something
because
like
it's
that.
Russian, yeah, so.
Yeah, so. But still, I don't listen to that kind of music, so I don't care.
Yeah. Well, I believe we have a podcast episode about music. So definitely listeners, check out our
Oh, yeah.
podcast selection,
I was there, I think.
which is
You
on
must have been. You must have been. You're one of
Oh,
the
maybe
music.
not.
No, you must have been there.
We have
I
so
don't
many
remember,
podcasts
but-
that we can't even remember who was where. So definitely check out our podcast episodes. We have so many on so many different topics. But yeah, speaking of music,
Just you name it, we have it.
Exactly.
on many different platforms. So Yandex Music, I mean, I just listen to my music on YouTube, to be honest.
I don't understand how. There's always a video and you can like turn off the screen. So you always
And I
have
guess
to.
it's like, battery consuming, no?
Yeah, and it's like you can put it in the pocket,
Oh, I don't use it on my phone.
Ah, okay.
Should have seen
see.
that coming.
Yeah.
Oh, I just download songs. I just download songs.
Of course, yeah.
My iPhone 5. No,
Yeah.
I just download songs from YouTube and then
Oh, Benjamin.
upload it to iTunes. And
adorable.
iTunes, speaking of apps, sometimes it gives me a problem, especially with my older phone.
Mm-hmm.
Some reason it always wants to update, and until you've updated your iPhone, it will not allow you to upload downloaded tracks onto your phone.
Oh,
Mhm.
can't relate. No,
Yeah.
not a user, sorry.
So
Yeah.
sorry, but can relate. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, wait, so what phone do you have again?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I literally do not. I don't.
It's just a,
It was a gift. So
a black
I'm like,
mirror.
yeah, Black Mirror. So it was a gift. And it was better than my previous Samsung. So I'm like, it's not I don't know.
Huawei.
No. I think it's Honor.
Honor?
I've
Yeah.
never heard of
Never heard
It's
of
a
it.
Honor.
Chinese one.
Yeah. I've heard of that.
It's written like Honor, like
Uh-huh.
Honor, but it's pronounced as Honor.
Ah, yeah. Honor.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, of course, I've heard about it.
I guess this is it. Oh my God. Yeah, really. I don't. So the thing is that most of the devices that I have in my life come either from me asking my friends like, hey, I need a new phone. Can you choose something for me, please? Because when it comes to devices, I'm dumb. And the same with like laptop. I was choosing my laptop by Googling cheapest laptops or best laptops for work under $200. And number one, I'm like, that'll do. $200.
$200?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yes.
Doesn't it crash all the
Whoa.
time?
No. I mean, we do have our issues. My students have their issues with my laptop. But sometimes, I'm like, you better work. So, but yeah, it was 200. It's still working, 3 years still going.
That's actually a really good deal. I mean, I got a refurbished laptop before I came out here. So I bought a MacBook Air and they're really cool. Normally, if you get a MacBook Air, they're really expensive. But I went on eBay and found a refurbisher, someone who takes old laptops and makes them better.
Oh.
And it's amazing
nice.
because I have this like basically brand new MacBook Air for £200. And it's amazing.
And Phil is like, where is that?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, brand new, but to be honest, it is not brand new. It's actually a 2012 model, but it looks like it's fresh and it works.
I've always felt a little bit, I don't know, skeptical, afraid of refurbished things.
Yeah, you should be.
Because you never know what you're going to get.
Well, sometimes you can have genuinely really good products. I had a smartphone which lasted for 5 years, which was refurbished.
It's like 100 years in smartphone years,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I definitely recommend getting refurbished products, especially if you're in a country with a lot of regulations like the UK or
the
something.
US.
Yeah. Or the US. I would actually say, believe it or not, the technology for some reason in the UK is better than in the US. I remember people always had more advanced phones in the UK compared to their US counterparts, which is funny. In the UK, technology is generally cheaper than it is in America. For some reason, I don't know why.
Taxes.
I can't compare.
Yeah. Well, in Russia, technology is quite expensive, isn't it?
I know. I bought a phone, not this one, but the previous one in Scotland. And it was almost exactly the same price as in Russia or in China. So it was,
I feel like nowadays, due to some sanctions, the prices can, kind of increase and some of them have skyrocketed. But,
exactly.
You can always find something.
So in Scotland, you bought it, yeah? So did you
it was Samsung, yeah.
Did you get it in a big shop?
Yeah,
or was
of course. Big shop, yeah.
So in England, we have, in the UK, we have Currys.
I don't remember.
PC
seriously.
World.
It's been 3 years, I think. Even more, probably. Don't remember.
So you got a Scottish, but has it got a tartan on it? A kilt on your iPhone.
Can you imagine like Siri or something like that, whatever helper they have with Scottish accent?
Oh God, that's impossible. Oh seriously.
So funny. No offense.
What would you like to do today?
Oh, me and my love for Scottish accent.
Do you actually use Siri?
I kind of like it, but hate it at the same time. I mean, the accent.
Love-hate relationship.
I love Scottish accents, but Siri, do you use Siri or any equivalent apps? I have never used it.
Me neither.
It's, I've seen some videos about like people using Alexa.
I was just going to say.
Oh, I used
Amazon.
Alexa. I used Alexa. Also in Scotland, actually.
Now we have Alisa in Russia.
Is that the Yandex one?
Yeah. So yeah, I recently saw a very funny video where a kid just runs to the station. It's like, Alexa, can reindeer fly? Reindeers cannot fly. Is Santa not real?
I get creeped out by these apps, to be honest. I wouldn't call it an app, actually. I'd call it maybe an interface.
Assistant. It's some sort of like assistant.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I just don't like using it. Do you ever use the voice recognition apps on your phone? Or not apps, functions?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Not really.
Voice to text?
Yeah, no.
I only use it, in Google Translate when I'm too lazy to type in the Spanish.
Especially a long sentence.
And I'm like, it's just easier, to put in a Spanish sentence.
Exactly.
Not that I advocate for Google Translate being a language teacher.
Well, actually, let's save the translation apps for the after show portion of this podcast, where we'll talk more about language learning and apps itself. But yeah, there are many good translation apps, and we can talk about it in more detail. Well, what about the advantages and disadvantages of using apps in general? So the advantages of using apps are
it's convenient.
Yeah.
It's time
life
saving.
is easier.
Yeah.
Saving time, making your life easier. For sure.
Of course.
Well, I mean, communication.
Yeah, definitely. It's easier to
as well.
keep in touch.
But when you gather with your friends You
Yeah,
eventually
it's
find out you have nothing
distracting.
to discuss because you talk to each other like
that.
every day, like
Well,
every
it's good
hour.
if you have a chance to see your friends in real life. My friends now live in different continents. And I'm like, even if I wanted to, it's only down to apps right now, like for us.
Yeah.
So it's like Telegram and so on and other apps because, well, we live in different countries now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can help with communication, but it also makes you feel further as well. Like, I don't know, could you ever have a long distance relationship just on
Oh,
Zoom
God.
or
Depends on how long.
like, I don't know, a year?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
I had it
Whoa.
too.
Oh, yeah, you did?
Oh,
was
whoa.
it difficult?
I
With-
tried. I mean,
that's
but it didn't
weird.
work.
That's just
for me.
weird.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people can do it and a lot of people do it. So,
I mean, it
No, I
depends
don't
if you
understand,
know for
seriously.
sure that you're going to meet in a year. Sure.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, but
Not for me. I don't
Because
know.
we were apart with my fiance for 3 months.
3
Mm.
And we were
months?
ready.
Okay.
Well, then the pandemic hit. So,
Mhm.
but we were ready to actually be like separated for like a year. And we're like, okay, this is what it is. We can do it. Technology and everything.
Whoa.
So yeah, it depends on your attitude and the trust level and
Mhm.
everything.
yeah, each relationship is so different.
Yeah,
you can't,
absolutely.
you
Yeah,
can't
right.
use it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can't just say like it's gonna work or not work for
Mhm.
everybody. No.
Because there are a lot of people for whom it works.
Right. So if it works for you, so
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But usually when you're at home and you're with your friends and everyone has their apps, even though it brings us
Hate
closer
it.
together, it also
So-
separates us.
like when we gather together, no one actually uses mobile phones, but still there's one friend who keeps chatting and we're like, come on, take it away. Talk
when
to
we're
us.
in a-
Why
yeah.
why did you
Annoying,
come here in the
really.
first place just to chat with like different person? Like doesn't make sense.
This is some kind of addiction, I think. You can just put it away.
Maybe.
Yeah,
So-
we usually in a company we make an exception for like work calls or mom.
Of course.
So yeah,
Of course.
if it's like emergency,
Parents
let's
is always
say.
like priority.
Yeah.
It's true. But when you ask about, let's say, advantages of apps, I think it's impossible to say, about all apps because apps are different.
Yeah,
Again, it could
right.
be, it's making our life easier. It could be a source of inspiration.
Mhm.
It could navigate us if it's like maps or something.
It could teach us.
Absolutely.
well.
Yeah, definitely.
So in general, I would say it's just making our life, as you said, easier
Yeah.
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
better.
Especially with regards to things like banking, for
Oh, God,
instance.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's great having.
Imagine not
Banking app.
having banking apps.
I don't want to
Well,
imagine that way.
Speaking about banking apps, unfortunately, because of my iPhone 5, my Sberbank app is not working anymore because
Oh.
it needed to be updated. And now
You know what?
it's difficult to get it.
Regarding banking apps, I don't know if you've noticed, but our Russian banking apps are much, much better
They're
than the one-
amazing. They're so good.
I'm in love.
You can do
really.
anything, seriously.
Because in the US, you can't just transfer money from one card to another. Within a click of your finger, basically.
You
Instant
can't.
transfers, as soon as you send money in Russia, it lands
get
in
it.
the other
One of the
account
best.
immediately.
Mhm.
But in the US, you have to use some sort of like e-wallets, like Venmo or something like PayPal.
And even still, you don't normally get the money instantly.
Yeah, it takes some time. Well, with Venmo, it's pretty fast though. But you have to first top up Venmo if you want to transfer money. Actually, one more thing about money. I think we might have mentioned it, but guys, it's I think one of the most common mistakes the Russian speakers make. We don't send money. Like, can you send me money? We top up the card or transfer money.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you can send money. No, you can send money, I think.
What about add money?
Add money.
Yeah.
To add money. No, you can't. Yeah. I mean,
Top up the card.
actually, add money. Yeah, sounds kind of strange. Top up, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
So
Send-
I need to put money on my card. This is
Yeah.
also what Russian speakers say, and we can't say that.
Yeah.
I need to
Yeah.
put money on my card. No, I need to top up my card.
Yeah, top up is
Send,
correct.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right.
Send is kind of sounds
yeah.
fine, I would say.
To put money on my card. Maybe you
Very
could.
Russian.
Maybe you could do it.
Nah.
Top up is better though. You're right.
Yeah.
Top up is
But
the
yeah,
best
banking
solution.
apps. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, especially compared to the States for sure.
Oh yeah.
When I was
absolutely.
when I was in America, I used Chase as that's my bank, and unfortunately, my iPhone 5 doesn't accept Chase anymore. but
We could
not
make
very
a drinking
good.
game out of this podcast. Drink every time Benjamin says my iPhone 5. So, yeah.
Well, I use Sberbank in Russia. Do any of you use another bank?
I use Tinkoff.
And Tinkoff, I've heard, has really good.
Oh, I love it. It's so
interface.
user-friendly. It's really nice. You can kind of keep track of your expenses as well, although sometimes it tends to be a little bit, I don't want to say passive-aggressive, but you know, the situation like, Katerina, take a quiz. How many times you paid in cafes and restaurants last month? 36, 45, or 72? I'm like, I don't like this game.
Well, I know
Whoa,
Tinkoff
that's a
is
lot.
marketed towards younger people,
Yeah.
isn't it? In
I
Russia?
guess
But in
So,
general, it's very user-friendly. Like everything is so obvious. I love it.
Any other banks we use?
Not at the moment, probably.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you have? You have Raiffeisen, Alpha.
I used to use Raiffeisen. It's okay.
Grossbank.
Yeah.
There are so many banks, but I think these two regarding apps are just
Mm-hmm.
the most user-friendly.
Yeah.
The greatest.
Yeah, back in the UK, I use HSBC. And to be honest, the UK apps are pretty good for banking. You don't get the money as fast as you do in Russia. I will say Russia beats everyone
God, yeah.
on. I don't know why it is. I don't understand why it's so fast here.
That's a good question, but
Yeah.
it is.
Well, most people listening to this show would love to go to the UK and would love to go to the US. But there are some great things about Russia, I will say. And
But
this is
actually-
one of them.
Yeah, sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. I was thinking about China actually, and they have again WeChat payments, and it's probably even faster, you
Yeah.
know, than Russian banks. So
Oh,
that's
wow.
there, yeah, or something like that. It's like, for example, again, you pay for dinner, and everybody else sends you the money, and within, I don't know, 20 seconds you get it, like really, really quick.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But again, and everybody has it. Like even, I don't know, homeless people in the streets, they have WeChat.
It's
Even
like,
they
I'm sorry,
ask for
ma'am.
money.
I'm
they're
sorry,
like-
ma'am. Do you have some spare change? You're like, I'm
Exactly.
sorry, I don't have any cash. I
do
accept
it.
WeChat.
Not exactly. They just have, you know, this kind of,
Or like QR code or something that you
Exactly.
can scan.
they kind of print it out. They kind of wear it, you know, on their neck or something. And
Whoa.
they're like,
This
okay,
is the
can I
world of
please
the
give me money?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know, like cooks, you know, something like that, like in some restaurants,
Wow.
street cafes especially, they can just, okay, you can scan it. Yeah. It's really easy. Nobody uses cash, like nobody, seriously. And I used to have cash in the beginning. I didn't have a card. I was like, how much is it? And she was like, what is that? Is it like money actually? She was like, oh my God.
Haven't seen those, you know, for years.
Exactly.
And did you use Apple Pay?
No, Samsung Pay, Google Pay, just that.
Yeah, I've never used it before.
Mm.
So tell me, how does it work? I know you're laughing.
You can't probably.
Babushka Ben needs an education on Samsung Pay. How do you use this app?
You just kind of put your card into the system. You put the number, the CVC code, the date, expiry date, and you just use it. Like you use your phone. It's like
You kind of tap your phone
Yeah,
instead
yeah,
of
yeah,
tapping
exactly.
your card.
Ah.
But do
to
you
the
tap
terminal.
it using do you use the screen or do you
Not
use the back of
necessarily.
the phone?
So it's like the back
there
of
is
the phone.
this, what is it, NFC?
Yeah,
Yeah, and you
one.
just kind of,
Mhm.
Even though, you know,
That's-
it's fun, we are so used to this. And, you know, we have like the chips on our cards. So, you know, sometimes you have the cards that you have to swipe and you have the cards you can tap. So, and in Russia, most of the cards, we just tap things. We don't swipe. And in the US, I was like, tap. And they're like, oh, honey, it doesn't work like that. You've got to swipe or you got to insert the card and then like sign. I'm like, oh God.
America's
it's gonna
really
be,
far behind on that. Also, I'm surprised Germany is like that, I believe. I've heard maybe things have changed recently, but I've heard Germany is quite behind.
It's
when it comes to
interesting
banking.
why. It is interesting why.
Maybe it's just extra security. I don't know.
probably, maybe.
But I don't know. If anyone knows, guys, let us know. Especially if you work in the banking area, you must have some knowledge about that.
Yeah, we must have a few bankers listening to this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've worked with a few people in the financial industry, so let us know, bankers.
Bankers.
Another thing is apps can actually help us keep fit. So fitness apps. So I
Yep.
used to, well, I didn't normally use this app, but it's called Strava. Have you ever heard of Strava?
Yeah, I have it.
Oh,
It's
you-
for cyclists.
Yes. Yeah. You've heard of it. Have you used it?
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. So
Keep tracking and so on. Yeah.
Cool. So you've used it in Novosibirsk and it
Yeah.
has it got a big community of people?
Right, that's what I like. Like, for example, I see a cool cyclist riding a bike and I'm like, okay, I should check it. And then I eventually can find someone. So that's really cool, actually. That's how you can make friends. And that's how I
And you
actually
can
made.
beat your time.
Yeah,
you can beat
so I
other
love
people's
it.
time if you cycle a route.
And Natalie and I like,
Okay, good point.
But I believe you could also use it for jogging, can't you?
Yeah, all kind of sports.
Yeah.
But there's a big, cycling community in there. So
In London, it's huge. A lot of cyclists
You
use
bet.
yeah.
Strava.
I even follow one person from the UK.
Oh, cool. I haven't used it in a while. Sorry, iPhone 5, but yeah, it keeps you really fit.
For
and
you.
Yeah, so that way you can use an app and you don't have to feel guilty about being like Eric Cartman and playing
Yeah.
World of Warcraft. If any of you know this South Park episode.
I love it.
Well, it's a horrible episode, but basically Eric Cartman sits in his chair and gets really fat and his mum brings him a potty.
Yeah.
okay.
It's like, no, this is so much fun. You should
So
check
let
it
us know if you're familiar with this episode. It's really funny. Any other fitness apps you can think of?
Yeah, I mean, I have my fitness bracelet, whatever it's called. Yeah. So, and I have an app on my phone which is attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I can, track my sleep and my activity in general. Not that I use it a lot, but
Oh, you track your sleep. Interesting. So
Yeah, it
how
does.
does that work? How does it?
it's all about pulse, I think. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of checks.
But you have to wear it at
Yeah,
all
of course,
times.
Of course. It's not like it has like telepathic, connection to my brain. Or
I
something.
know there's some sleep apps which can detect if
Yeah,
you're in
yeah,
deep
yeah.
sleep.
Mm,
And
yeah,
does
yeah,
it
it
only
does.
via the pulse?
It does. Yeah, exactly. For example, this night I slept 8 hours and 10 minutes.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good for you.
But
Yeah,
does that
yeah.
mean 8 hours and 10 minutes?
In general.
In general.
And
But
then
you
you
lie
can check like
down.
how much of that is deep
Exactly.
sleep and how much
Exactly.
of that is
Yeah, yeah.
REM
on the
sleep.
phone already,
On the
in the
phone,
app.
yeah.
But still,
Yeah.
I think it may be a bit inaccurate.
It's not precise. Yeah. It's kind of,
But at least
really
to give you a
proximate.
general idea,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Exactly.
And I love that you can see it like the highest and the lowest pulse.
Exactly.
Cool as well.
Yeah.
But we've talked about all the good things and, but what about the negative sides of apps? So what can be the disadvantages of apps?
Addiction.
Addiction. Yeah.
First that comes
That's
to
true.
mind, yeah.
Hackers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
as
Like
well.
personal data can be.
Yeah, I get like, I guess
You can.
one email per week, like, sorry, you have troubles logging into some kind of social
Oh, really?
media. So I'm not saying the name.
Somebody's
Yeah,
trying to hack
yeah.
into
And I'm
it,
like,
yeah.
okay, haven't used it like for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So yeah.
Definitely not me.
I
But,
saw
but
this-
why my account? Like it's
I saw
it's
this
empty.
YouTube video where there's this app / surveillance software, or not software, but tools called Nest. In the US, you can buy a camera to watch over your house and you can, of course, keep an eye on your house from your home. And I saw this guy who had this, let's just say, package, and some Canadian hacker hacked into his house and he started speaking to him via the camera. And he said, don't worry, we're white hat hackers, meaning that we are good hackers and we're trying to find flaws in the system. But,
Oh,
wow.
okay.
but
Never
people
heard.
could potentially exploit these
course.
weaknesses
Mhm.
Yeah.
and steal
It's
stuff.
True.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
I've
this
never
is-
heard of white hackers.
Mhm.
White hat hackers. It's an IT industry
hat
term.
hackers.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Mhm.
It sounds like the Ku Klux Klan, really. It doesn't,
Yeah, so White
it doesn't
hat,
sound very
basically, yeah.
nice.
Come on.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, maybe.
But
I'm not
apparently-
joining this conversation.
Oh, okay, yeah. So there's supposed
But yeah,
to
the
be good people.
security, losing,
Mhm.
security is
Definitely.
definitely one of the.
Yeah. And what about Get Contact? Have you ever heard of
Oh,
that?
it's like where you can see
No.
who exactly is calling you.
No. The one where you like you have to share your contact book, but
yeah.
you can see like the way you
You're named.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess in this case, you can also see like who's calling you, because when people are calling you, then get contact shows like, what they are named in other people's.
I just have
don't
different
use
app for it.
I don't use it. I don't trust the security side of it.
And you shouldn't, because definitely the whole, contact book will be there.
Yeah,
so
no.
it's not cool.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yay.
Well, guys, stick by for the after show portion where we're going to continue this conversation and we'll discuss how apps are related to language learning. So
Yay.
stick by, make sure you join that conversation and be part of the Telegram chat app where you can also find the vocabulary list for all the words in this podcast. So definitely stick by for that. Thank you, guys. And for those of you who are, you have to say goodbye to me. So
That's so sad.
bye for now. See you in the next life.
Oh, wow. That's dramatic,
But yeah, good luck, Benjamin.
Thank
Good
you very
luck.
much.
Yeah.
See ya.
All right, bye for now, guys. See ya.
See ya.